So today is the 7th day of Av in the year 5785. There's tremendous pressure on the nation of Israel. There is pressure in the United States. And we see the disaffiliation of so many Jews from Judaism. I happen to be one of the people that comes from that background. And it's a very sad thing to see the polarization. People that don't know anything about Torah, really, they're good Jewish people and they have the best in mind, but they become polarized to leftist ideas, which have lots of not a really bad life. They're a Gentile life is not a life for a Jew. So we have lamentations because this all happened approximately 2,000 years ago. It has happened again, and it continues to happen until we were completely divorced from our land, always wanting to be back. So here we have the lamentation, and we're going to see what it has to say today. Now, I have the psak that during Tisha B'Av itself, it's mutter to learn this, and we'll see what happens. Eichah Yashva Badad Ha'ir. That particular phrase, alone, the city stands alone, dwells alone. Rebbe Pinchas Pasev, Rebbe Pinchas began to speak. He began to speak the Farish Masha Kosev, Kol Varama Nishma. The voice up on high is heard. He Bechitam Ruram, and let it be that we see there that there are bitter tears. Rachel Mevakach Banecha, Rachel is crying for her children. This is the Shechina who is looking for us, who needs us, who wants us. Hine Beshatet is Charv Bei Mikdasha. V'hitoged b'shas shenechra v'beis hamikdash v'nisrav, at the time that the Mikdash was destroyed and burnt. Asa kala, a voice came in, who called Sar b'nei Yisrael. It is the voice of the utmost pain of the Jewish people. Keep trying. This ire of a kivrega avahan gedamai. And this cry was so strong that it awakened the fathers that were before him. He says the Kadimoi, he means the original fathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, who are buried in Hebron. This is what the voice says. It says, Avraham Kadmoi, Avos Rishon. Atu demikim b'shinsa, atem nirdomim, you are dozing in sleep. V'lo yadein l'chavisar v'alava, and atem yodim es atzar sheyesh ba'olam, and you don't know the pain that is now happening in this world. Hare b'neichon degaltun b'tzara, b'neiche by your children. That you took so much effort, so much pain, and so much difficulty to try to raise them. Also you brought them into your faith, you showed yourself to them. Shalakadosh Baruch Hu. Ha misa v'ha misu. Is Catalan. They are dead. They've been killed. They've been murdered. Mehem Mesa Bedever, this is what the motto gets. Some of them died in plagues. Mehem Nehergo Becherev, and from them there are those who died by the sword. Vaha Azlas Begalusa Ben Suneehim Yadehun. Then there were those who were not murdered and did not die from plagues. So there were those who also, they went Begalus and Tegalus, Bain Sonehem, ridiculed as they are going into the captivity of their enemies. Kashiyadechem Kashurs Lacharechem, and their hands are tied behind their backs. Maisim Bekaflach Bebechem Kasiv Verov, so their people starved to death. Ubutechem Itokad, and their houses were all set to fire. Az Rachmim de Lachon. He says, on, I read it wrong, it says, on Rachmim de Lachon, where is your mercy? Eichah HaRachmim Shalachem, where does your, he's speaking to the Avos, I guess it's in plural. He says, where is your sense of mercy? Az Behamenuza de Lachon Eichah, where Haneamonas Shalachem is your faith? Kumo, get up. Arouse yourself and be near them. And you will see their pain. It says, Miyad Isa'ara Avahon Ve'imahon. Miyad is Avos Ve'imachos Shechoya Merkal the Malchus. Then let's look at this again, that the Avos and the Imachos are like Zair Anpin and Malchus, that together they bring down all the Shefa from up above. And the translation again, Miyad is order the Avos, they are immediately awakened, and the mothers, Imachos, Shahar Merkava, they are the chariot, in other words, the channels. The Malchus, for the shows Midas Chagat, so going through the three lines, because the Avos, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov represent respectively Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferes, the middle line. V'azel Lagabe Moshe, so they all went to Moshe. V'holku el Moshe Shehoya Besod Das L'mala B'chem, so they went, this is Chagat, which is the right arm, left arm, the body. He says, what is that? He says they went to a higher level to seek greater answer from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'cholchol el Moshe Shehoya Besod Das, he went to Moshe, which is Das. Das is Benimi, to Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes. L'mala Mehem. Amalei Moshe, they said to Moshe, Moshe, Rai Mehemna, you faithful Shever, the one we can always count on. On Ina Benin, where did these my children go? Ephraim Habanim, Az Shavkan Lon, Eva Azavta Osam, where did you abandon them? Where did you leave them off? Miad Yis'arim Moshe V'azal Imachov L'gabi Yehoshua. So immediately Moshe got up, and everyone came to Yehoshua. Moshe, so immediately Moshe aroused himself. He was aroused to come down. I think he means towards, to try to find us, to find our neshamos. And they brought them all together to Yehoshua. Yehoshua, mushrosh b'malchus, he is the root, he is rooted in malchus. Besod pnei levana, where he said that his face was like the face of the moon. Malchus. Amalei Moshe, the Yehoshua, so Rosh said to Yehoshua, B'nei Avraham, B'nei Yisrael, B'nei Avos, Elos, these children of these fathers, that is Chesed and Gevurah and Rachmim, Shehem B'nei Yisrael, who are become the B'nei Yisrael, the Fakdan Kikudsher B'richu Aleichem, Shapakad Osi HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that the Kadosh Baruch Hu appointed, he appointed me over them. V'shavkti alon bidach, v'azapta osach v'yadach. It says that Moshe is saying to Yehoshua, but I gave them over to you. On Inun, where'd they go? Avraham. So this is answer for Yehoshua v'Amar. Rashuv came back, he answered back, and he said, Heshiv Yehoshua v'Amar Rabbeinu Moshe, my master. Ba'ira Kadisha Shaftith Lon, I brought them into the land, the Holy Land. Azavti, I left them off. Be'eretz Yisrael, Shehu Soda Malchus, which is the concept. I brought them to Malchus. I brought them to the door of Malchus. Uflegas lon ara alfum advacha kamba the fakadita. V'chalokti lechem, and I walked for them, to them. V'chalachti lechem as eretz al pi hagorol kasher. I read it wrong. I read it wrong. And I divided up the land. I did it according to a gorol, that is the lottery. Kasher tzivisani, that you command, like the way you commanded me. V'kulchu shav kes gevar al achsante v'al advei. V'as kulam azavte ish al nachaloso, and all of them I left everybody in their, every family, every bit in their right place. Ish, every man, al nachaloso, to his inheritance. V'al goralo, and that is the lot that he got for the lottery. He said, Ratzolom makosh shevet al makom remizaso, every tribe in a place that is hinted to it. Makom yuso. Now that's an interesting idea. All, not just the physical place, but the place where the soul of that tribe really thrives. V'chinas of a malchus, and what aspect it is in relationship to malchus. In other words, the pipeline to the higher worlds. Then he said, Miyad then all of them went to Eretz Yisrael. Miyad choku kulam the Eretz Kedusha. Bashkach Allah the Itzchar v'charovu. Umatza osach hashanachrav, and they saw that it had been destroyed. That is, and he adds on this, he says, what part is destroyed? Malchus itself is called the Malchus of the Malchus. That's what destroyed. The actual ultimate connection between this world and the next, the extension all the way down to us, and the finest, most thin way to deliver the light of the Ein Sof was Nipsa. Shabo hu sod ha-horben v'ha-galus, because that hapsaka, that is what caused the destruction and everything else. The dog ishtam b'chol b'chakal. Lo nishba b'chol machmas rov ha-shamamo. Because the destruction was so great, it was quiet. The v'lo nishba b'chol, no voice was heard, machmas rov ha-shamamo. Alo the Beit Mikdash. So this group went into V'niknas the Beis Hamikdash. They went into the Beis Hamikdash. Shuchol b'chinas pnimi shalom malchus, and once again is getting to the most pnimistic aspect of malchus. I mean, the real doorway to the higher worlds. But they saw that it was all burnt up. Shenifras b'din eish, that did judgments of fire. Hagavura hachazoka, which is tremendous gavura. Avadu be hespeda, so they made, at that point, they made a eulogy. Vosbo hesped. V'oras as a rachamim al yoinim. Why did they make a hesped? In order to arouse the upper rachamim. Ad the ishtabach become rivda the v'chicha the rom shemai, until the point that the bitter crying would reach the rom ma'ala shemai, the highest level. Ad shenishbach b'kol meribas v'chicha, that this bitter cry would reach so high, the rom shemayim, to the highest part of the heaven. Besod shari dima, like these are the gates of tears. Haniftachem ayidechem me adamos. How does the gate, that is, he's talking about the gate to the higher world. How does it open? Ayidechem me adamos, through the water, the wetness of the tears. V'kol malache a'oy v'chocho im the eila v'kol malache ma'alam. All of them malachim from up above. Shebehilchos shebeheichalos elyonim, that come from the upper heichalos. Bachu imcha umaham lamala, they're crying along with them up above. So he writes like this, so this crying, the crying that is going on, the crying that needs to go on, is Ira Kedusha B'richu V'also the Gabehu. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu was aroused. Here we have to see what he means by Kodesh Baruch Hu. It's Ira HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shehu HaBina, his Bina becomes aroused. Now you're dealing with Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, which are part of the body. And then you're dealing with Das, which innervates Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes. That's a Chod Yesod in the whole body. Now you're talking about an aspect which is higher than Das, Bina. That she was really withdrawn from them. Who now she comes to Baal Alechem, and then she's coming back. Now I don't know what he meant that she withdraws, or she withdraw from. Is he talking about the Bnei Yisrael? Is he talking about the Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, etc. and Das? So then he says, now she's coming to him. V'ashkach lon mamrim b'kol b'chia, and he saw them bitterly crying with a bitter, bitter cry. Go after the makdasha in the midst of the dust of the Beis Hamikdash. Matzach mamarecha b'kol b'chia, they were bitterly, bitterly crying. V'soch afach hamikdash amalon. So she said to them, this is Bina says, this is the Ima say. Now they're calling to understand that normally we see the word Kodesh Baruch Hu, it refers to Zair Anpin. Why? Because Zair Anpin is the mashpia to Malchus. So Kodesh Baruch Hu in Kabbalah is Lashon mashpia, a person who's giving from the top to the bottom like that. Giving. So, but the ultimate, you could go back, and the Kodesh Baruch Hu is also sometimes characterized as Bina, because Bina gives birth to Zair Anpin. So therefore, she's Benimit to him, and she's the Mashpia to Zair Anpin. Going on. He says, those, you who love my soul, what are you doing here? What are you doing? What's happening for my beloved one? Where is she? Come, Avraham, Come, Avraham, he was the oldest of the fathers. In order to try to arouse the meat of chesed, ki Avraham shehu b'chesed, who rosh hadamam b'davrim b'kol makom, he is the one that always speaks first. So we see that chesed is Rishon. He said, "V'amar gemeim marid alma, v'amar v'dechov ada b'oidim, ad yudah da'azalis k'mach ba'orach kashot." Atem Yedatem. Now you know. Shahalachti Lefonecha B'derech Emes. So kashot means not kasha like I thought it was going to say. No, it means in Aramaic it means emes. I came to you in the derech of emes. Ki eses zimnim neses li v'kaimis v'kula. It says, Eser pa'amem nasisa osi, there are 10 times that you tested me. V'amada b'kulam, and this is Avraham saying this now to Bina. He's saying this through Bina, heading it towards the source of all things. V'atech b'nei an inun. He says, benign, Ephraim, where are the children of Israel? Lo shema'alecha b'kol b'lechum ba'ara the umes li the kain b'lechum ba. He says umes means to swear. Zohar lo shema'te kol devrechem. Didn't I hear? I don't hear. I do not hear. I have not heard. The kol devrechem, the voice of their words. Be'eretz asher nishba'te the kaimos, on that it was promised to me to keep them there. That's their land. Amalek Jabaril, so the Kodesh Baruch Hu says to them, the Avraham, Avraham did not show. He says, Have Avraham Ahu Nafshi. Avraham is the beloved of my soul. Basa Kodesh Avraham Mechalach, the Hainu, Betido Minaichu Bris Kuchu. Zabato Mechem is a Bris of Kedusha. The Bris of Kedusha. This is what, let me translate that. He didn't translate it, so I'm going to translate it. Basar Kodesh, this holy flesh, which is the place of the bris. You've removed it from me, from yourselves. You've gone uncircumcised, you don't care about circumcision anymore. You want the Gentile life. The Haida Betilo Minacho Bris Kedisha. Shabbat Bechem is a Bris of Kedusha. That you nullified for them. Called the bris. And there they cause a tremendous flaw. Even in the flow of chesed, the midah of chesed which flows, which should be revealed in the pair of the yisod, in opening the yisod, that it should come in kedusha to be able to make a yichud. So not only did they disregard my bris, which is now happening, it's the way it is with us. They started worshiping false idols, communism, Marxism. The Jews are more likely, as a group, to go left, because it seems to have a humanitarian aspect, which is Jewish. And this made a tremendous pagam in the midah of Malchus. Sheba nogea pagam avodah zarah, because Malchus corresponds on the other side, or the bad side, to avodah zarah. So now Malchus has an enemy. V'alda is tapach rug zera b'hoin. V'alkein charan ape behem. So therefore you see the Imam is saying my anger is on them. Charan ape. The v'ginach orich nun long kam zimnim. V'shvilcha harachte ape lechem kam pamem. Because of you. And he's talking about the fathers and Moshe and Yehoshua. They had Rachmanis on them. Ratzon Lomer shenishmachta that I started working with the meeting of chesed, the arich ape, to extend my nostrils. That's really literally what it means. It means to show patience. Ula yeshuva v'yizkanda begam nafsham. Maybe they'll do tshuva. Maybe they'll be able to repair the begam of their souls. Avalo savokodama v'locha v'shava lefanai v'deshuva v'lo nisakta. But they didn't come back, and they didn't get that tikkun. I'm going to do the last one in this sequence, and let's see how it goes. Kevin the Shama Avraham Kach, since Avraham Avinu heard all of this from his mother, so to speak, from Bina. Kevin Shama Avraham Kach, Ama Yimachol Agudushas Shimachol, called Inen Chol Vechem Ben Amamaya. What does that mean? So it should be. This is what's going to happen. That the people are going to wind up in exile in the land of Gentiles. Ben ha'amen ad sheyirtza asavonam, until there would be success, or would be accepted the repentance for their sins. V'yimcha v'losechem v'cholechem, and you'll be able to wipe out all of their sins from on them. V'yalbina v'yisakto as midas chesed, and they will enlighten, rebuild this flow, which is called the Midas of Chesed, the flow of Chesed, Ayedei, only Haguf, because of the Inui that takes place, the pain of the body, V'hanefesh, Beina Omos, because we must live amongst the Gentiles. Ad Yehe Rava Dedech L'Chasav Alon L'Gaboch. Ad Shehiyeh Ratzon B'Fanecho, until there comes a part that it is your will, L'Hachzer Osam V'Lahasim V'Lahashiva Malecha, and to bring them back to you, until it becomes your will that you're going to bring us back. And you are bringing us back, but man, it is with the back of the hand. Kein kulhu gegad nedo v'chein kol ha'avos anav v'amru ka'ayin sha'ana Avraham. So they all agreed, they all answered similar to the way that Avraham had spoken. And they went on. They went. Now that's the Zohar Chadash here. This is a time of loss for the Jewish people. Have faith, because the world continues to turn. Today is the 7th of Av. Tomorrow will be the 8th. There will be a 9th. And we will do what we do on that day. And then there will be a 10th. And eventually there will be a 15th. This is Baruch Fleischman, and you've been listening to the Tikkun Elevator Kollel.